at Wesleyan. I didn't tell you where I'm from. We gotta do that again. Hola, hola, bonjour. My name is Marisol. I'm from Colorado, and I'm a Romance Studies major, so I'm studying both French and Spanish at Wesleyan. So I started studying Spanish and French because English itself is actually my second language, and Spanish was my first. And so I've grown up with Spanish my whole life, but never formally learned it academically. So I started off with that, and then I took French for fun, and I loved it. And so I do both because I love finding the connections between the two, and it just expands the people I can speak to as well. So my favorite word in Spanish is idiosincrasia, and it means anything that is something that's unique or individual or special, something that makes someone special. Super idiosincrático. And then I think my favorite French word is épanouissement, which means to flourish, to develop, to grow, like a little flower. So the summer between my junior and senior years, I had a chance to go and study at the immersive French program at the Middlebury Language Schools, which meant that for 7 weeks straight, I was only studying French, and that whole time you could only speak in French, and we signed a pledge that meant only French the whole time. Can't speak in anything else, and even listening to music and speaking to other people had to be in French the entire time. I would say that was definitely the most progress I found in my language skills, so it was amazing to kind of immerse myself in that for so long and challenge myself and figure out how to work around not knowing how to say something, which in itself I think is the value of learning languages, finding new ways to express yourself, and I loved it entirely. And a super special shout out to the entire Romance language department, especially Professors Maria Ospina, my Spanish advisor, and Professor Tiphaine Lecerveau, who was my French director for my thesis, for helping me kind of combine the two languages, especially as I worked through my thesis and exploring the way that both languages really can come together and make something completely new. That was awesome, and go Romance department. So I would say a tiny piece of advice for any new language learners at West or anyone considering learning more than one language at the same time, absolutely do it. Please do it. It is an entirely new way of thinking, and I would say my advice is when it gets difficult and challenging, that's when you have to keep going. When you can't figure it out and you're confusing yourself, that's where the good stuff starts and where the most fulfilling parts come from. So keep going, because how cool is it to say, oh yeah, I'm trilingual actually. Oh my gosh, keep going, you can do this. I envision French and Spanish sticking with me the rest of my life, definitely. And also career-wise, I would love to become a professor of the literature, so maybe comparative lit between French language and Hispanophone literatures in the future. And in general, just being able to use it every day and find myself understanding other people in multiple languages in my everyday life as well. Adios, adios, au revoir.